Hello, visionary leaders, inspired leaders, aware leaders, conscious leaders, authentic leaders, emerging leaders, hidden leaders. Excuse my voice. I'm struggling a bit with my voice today. A reminder that these videos are 100% in support of you and your leadership journey as you take your greatness, your gifts, your voice, your stance out into the world and change the baseline way that leaders are thinking, acting, and showing up at work. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 shifts that you can employ immediately into your work, into your life, into your relationships, because as you well know, being an inspired leader, a visionary leader, whatever happens to be, doesn't stop at the office door. It seeps in under the bedroom door, into your vocations, into your churches, wherever it happens to be. And since part of today's session is about intention, I think I'll start by sharing what my intention is with these videos, which is to speak directly to the part of you, each person watching these videos, that knows without a shadow of a doubt that something isn't working, or there has to be a better way, or there must be a different way of leading within an organization, on a team, in a business, whether you are the leader or somewhere in the hierarchy. So, as a reminder, each one of these teachings in this work is around your purpose, which we talked about in a previous teaching. It's about awareness and choice. Always, you need awareness before you can have new choice. It's about expansion, really exploring and getting curious rather than contraction. This is how it's always been. It's about being in process, messy, deliberate, imperfect action, rather than being perfect, not making mistakes. That's boring. And it's also about radical responsibility, not judgment. So the first shift we're going to talk about is we're going to start by doing an energy audit, which is a truth revealing process that requires radical responsibility, not judgment. And the energy audit that I speak of measures alignment, energetic alignment, coherence, not output. I don't care about the output at this point. And you do this by identifying where there is leaky energy in every area of your life, starting with your relationships and your work, your career, your home, your office, your finances, your health, your self care. You can Google the top 8 areas of life and do an energy audit, not in one area, every area. You're probably going to find there's some repeating patterns. In the energy audit that I've created for this work, which includes all areas of life, it's a diagnostic tool I used in the leadership alignment journey that gives us a very powerful starting position. And in this energy audit, there are a series of very important questions to be answered for every area of life. Questions such as, what feels heaviest in your life right now? Where are you pushing and striving instead of flowing? What are you tolerating that quietly exhausts you? Where do you compromise your boundaries? Oh, this is a big one. I've compromised my boundaries for so long to be in my family. I'm embarrassed to say how long I've compromised my boundaries. Where's your safe space? Once all of the energy leaks have been identified in all areas of life, this is where it's time for radical responsibility in owning what each energy leak is costing you and what do you want to do about it. As you well know, I've spoken about before, doing nothing about something is a choice. As long as you have the awareness that that is what you're choosing, then that is your choice. That's very different than saying, I have no choice. There is no choice. There was no other choice, but you have no awareness around it. Then you're falling into sort of like a victim sort of mentality. The second one is you want to create an intention behind the mission, the goal, the vision, the actions, etc. Without an intention, the thing you are striving for is simply another task to complete or a milestone to reach. When we add an intention, the vision or the mission or the goal, whatever it is, transforms into something that carries deep meaning, direction, and most importantly, an energetic signature that guides not just what you are doing, but how and why you're doing it. An intention is kind of like your own personal blueprint that creates the way you carry your thing out into the world. You want to make the intention clear and simple. It's a powerful statement, not a negotiation or a wish or a dream or a conversation, such as, I choose to cultivate calmness at work. From there, everything you do comes from that intention, cultivating calmness at work. Focus on the why. Second thing I would say is focus on the why rather than the how. So, my calmness creates an energy of stability, certainty, and peace in my workplace. Pretty straightforward. No ambiguity there. And then you want to use language that supports above the line intelligence. So those high vibrational emotional states, such as my calmness vicariously allows others to remain calm even in the face of adversity or uncertainty. Then you want to possibly revisit your intention regularly because as you change or your mission grows or the project you start on a new project, the intention may or may not be the same, and that's perfectly okay. And say if we take that original intention that I choose to cultivate calmness at work, and maybe I've grown, maybe I've changed and I've learned new things. Maybe it will be I will cultivate calmness while purposefully energizing my team at work. I'm still using the same intention, but the intention has magnified and amplified. And that's part of the expansion that we speak about rather than the contraction. So the third shift that I want to share with you is from this new place of awareness and understanding. You have the choice to shift the energetic signature you're admitting. So I spoke about this in my first teaching, or about 3 teachings ago. Masaru Emoto was a Japanese author and alternative medicine practitioner who wrote a book on the healing power of water called The Hidden Messages in Water. And what essentially he discovered is if he took a bottle of water and he had, let's say, a group of 10 people sitting around this bottle of water and emitting all of the energy of love and compassion and curiosity and kindness and empathy. And maybe there was pictures all around these people of puppy dogs and rainbows and old people holding the hands of young people and sunrises and all those amazing things. He had these people sit in the energetic frequency of this experience, focus on the water bottle, and then freeze the water. Once the water was frozen, took it out of the freezer, and he looked at the ice crystals underneath magnifying glass. And what he discovered is that the crystals, the most beautiful, harmonious, unique, complex crystals, and none of them were the same, but they were absolutely magnificent, gorgeous, just like snowflakes. He did the same thing with the heavy, dense energy. So a group of people focusing on a water bottle, listening maybe to heavy, hard rock, heavy music, not judging if that's your thing. Surrounded by images of war and car crashes and death and darkness and think about things that really, really hurt, maybe experiences that they had had in their lives or whatever happened to be. Focus on the water, freeze it, bring it out, cut it, look at it under a microscope. And what he discovered was the crystals were in absolute chaos. And they were often very dark and chaotic, very, very different than the emotional signature of the crystals that were frozen for people that were sitting in an energy of love. So, just as an example, for those of you who are more scientific minded, the frequency of emotions range between 20 and 1,000 hertz. So they can be measured basically and identified on a scale. And the higher the number, the higher the vibrational number, the lighter the energetic frequency, the more it's going to correlate to the energy of like gratitude and love and joy and all those things. So peace and compassion vibrates at 600 hertz. Gratitude and joy, 540 hertz. Love and trust, 528 hertz. Forgiveness and acceptance, 310 hertz. Courage is considered like the neutral line. Anything below 200 is considered a low vibrational or life contracting or weakening emotion. And anything above 200 is considered like a high vibrational and an expansion and expanding and opening emotion, a strengthening emotion. So fear and anxiety live in the pocket of about 100 hertz. Shame, guilt, blame, humiliation, despair, they all range between 20 and 30 hertz. So as I spoke about in my first teaching, we've all had the experience where we come into a room and we meet an individual somewhere, and there's something about this individual that I just cannot be around that person. There's just something about them that just repels me. Well, either your vibration is really high and theirs is really low, or other way around. Maybe you vibrate at a low frequency, but not if you're listening to this, and they vibrate at a high frequency. So our vibrational frequencies are just completely out of sync. They're a total mismatch. It's like two magnets that they repel each other. And so that explains why we often have these experiences where we meet someone or we're in a space. It can even be the space where it's just like, I don't know what it is about the space, but I just want to leave. There is a heavy, dense energy in there. And the opposite is true. Of course, you meet people that there's something about them. They're just like, what? I got to be around that person forever and ever. Amen. Now, the thing that's really important for us to remember about these emotional states, first of all, we cannot know where we are at if we do not have the awareness. And therefore, we cannot choose to alter that because we don't know what we don't know. But because emotions are actually impermanent, if we have the awareness to know that our emotions are not permanent, then low vibrational frequencies can be shifted. And this is done by moving up that emotional scale through the cultivation of higher frequency, expansive emotions such as gratitude or trust or acceptance. So we have the opportunity at any given time to shift our emotional frequency when we have the awareness to do so. And if you can imagine, if you're on a leadership team, let's just use that as an example, or you're in an environment where there's 10 people and 3 of you naturally are energized, positive, optimistic, curious, inclusive, and the other 7 people are struggling with stress and depression and anger and resentment and bitterness and shame and guilt and frustration and fear and uncertainty. You can see how those 7 people could, if left unchecked, bring the frequency of those 3 people down. For people that vibrate at a high frequency, often they are able to hold those frequencies even in the environment of that heavy, dense energy, because that's naturally who they are. That's how they vibrate. And what happens often is vicariously, some of these other 7 people you'll start to notice that their energy starts to change. Hey, have you noticed that Sam there isn't as grumpy as he used to be? I don't know, something's changing in him. So that is part of the work that we're doing as leaders of the new paradigm is we are shifting and holding high vibrational frequencies at such a powerful rate that other people around us either can't help but raise their vibrational frequency or they leave. They go find somewhere else that matches their vibrational frequency. And that's okay because part of this work is letting go of expectation. So every time we make space for a loss, when someone leaves, you open the door for a matching vibrational frequency to walk through that door. And that the more people that vibrate at the same frequency, you attract that exact same energy into your business, your organization, your team, your life, your relationships. So the 3 shifts, here's the reflection. Energy leaks. Where are you allowing leaky energy to create an emotional experience that is heavy and contracting, both at work and at home in your relationships? Number 2, where are you confused? Intention. So where are you confusing what you desire to do with the impact of what you are here to do? And the third is shifting energy. What is the energetic signature you are choosing in this moment and that you choose to share in your world? So I have a comprehensive energy audit, which consists of a deep dive reflection guide that I summarize for the person. So you get the guide ahead of time. It's going to take you a while to get through it. You send me the information. I summarize it into a 1-pager. And then we follow that up with a one-on-one alignment focus session. So if that interests you, pretty sure you can find out how to reach me. You can just reach me through miajarrett.com. If you want to get more involved with this work, you can also join me for free in my closed Facebook group called Leaders of the New Paradigm at Ripple Effect Collective. You can also download the free leader meter assessment guide on my website, miajarrett.com. Just download it and then you can take the assessment and it'll tell you what type of leader you are relative to the work that we're doing here as authentic, visionary, inspired, emerging hidden leaders. If you want to take it one step further, you can always hop onto a free leader assessment call with me for about 20 minutes. You just have to DM me and I'll send you my calendar link. So that is our teaching for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In my next teaching, I'm going to be talking about going all in and what that really means and what that really looks like. So until next time, step up, speak up, listen to your gut, and question everything. Thanks for staying to the end. See you next time.